And what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Talk About Transformers. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Deluxe class Earthrise modulator Airwave. Here he is in his little aircraft carrier, airstrip, airport, whatever you want to call it, mode with his little runways here. He's got some black stripes going down the front. 32 picked out, 2 Decepticon symbols. You can see he's got some treads on the bottom with some spiky rolling wheels. You can see his robot mode arms hanging out under there. His robot mode legs hanging out under there. Give it a squeeze because it didn't look plugged in all the way. He's got some weird pipes on the side. Robot chest on the back. Some nice gunmetal gray there. A little orange inlay piece. You've got another pipe, little control tower up here. These are all molded orange and painted black, all gunmetal blackish. Pretty much the color is, but they're all painted that color. You can see at the top of his head right there. And he'll roll. Kind of. Probably not on my table, but he has wheels he can roll. And that pretty much does it for the vehicle mode. Now we're going to take a look at size comparisons, and then we're going to go into its other modes, but I'm not going to do size comparisons for each mode. It'll just be this one, and it'll be robot mode. So we're going to go ahead and zoom out and get into some size comparisons with him and the other characters, and we'll take a look at each of his modes, his 2 other modes, and then his robot mode, and we'll go from there. There he is with the Rubik's Cube, the Gormagala statue, Volkswagen Bumblebee, the last Deluxe review RC, and the next Deluxe review, which is going to be Quake from Titan's Return. Alrighty, we've got size comparisons out of the way. We'll go ahead and start doing a transformation to a different mode. Now, this guy is a modulator. He comes into a billion pieces, but instead of ripping him apart, I figured it might be fun to try and transform him moving as little pieces as possible. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make the little pipe tower here. We'll go ahead and plug this in here and plug this in here and plug them both over there for that. And then we'll go ahead and fold this up, unplug this side and swing it around to that side. Then we can take his other arm off. It's just using the ramp clip system, so it's going to come off, and we'll plug it into this side. And then we can go ahead and remove his legs one at a time. So we'll remove that leg, pop this leg in its place, go ahead and pop this leg in its place, and then we'll lift these up and swivel the arm around. You could technically just put them on the correct way if you were doing this by taking them apart, but because I'm being special about it, this one will actually plug back into the tread. I'm trying to remove as little pieces as possible between modes. So there you have him in his second mode. It is some kind of highway station, and I mean, it's a nice long strip of road for your vehicles, Highway 32 maybe, but that's about it. For this mode, there's not really any new details revealed or anything, so we'll go right ahead and get him into his third mode. And for that, I'm just gonna go back to the original mode each time, since it doesn't take that long to do. His second alternate mode is not great either, but we'll show it off. Oh, come on, you. Just plug in there. There we go. Alright, first things first, I'm just going to leave this how it is, because I'm just going to be moving this stuff anyway. I'm going to go ahead and fold this up and plug this into here. And then with these, they're just going to be on the side, but facing back, like that. We're going to go ahead and lift him up here at this part for now. And we're going to remove these legs, fold his feet up, and then we'll take this part and pop the top of the legs off, and we're going to plug these into the feet. And plug the legs into the bottom here, this way, yes, this way. So he's still all intact. We're gonna rip this entire, before we do that, we'll leave that on for a second. We're gonna rip his other arm off, if it'll cooperate with me. Fold out this tab, and we're gonna go ahead and plug this into it. The tab likes to try and swing in on you while you're doing it. Then rotate this over and spin it around and fold it up here like this. Then we can take this, pop it off its connection, and break it in the process. And then we're gonna plug them into this blue piece. Now this is supposed to go here, but I decided to put it under here for support, because if not, this thing some of it'll droop. This will droop in and the thing will come down. But if you have it on the ground without under there, then it stays slightly raised like it's supposed to. Not a lot, but it does. And then you can take these and plug them in here. And now he's some sort of battle platform. You can see different paint now on what's going to be the front of his robot thighs, but that's pretty much it for new details revealed on this mode. And it's just a little battle platform for your little battle masters, and you can take Plastifex and plug them in to these guns and have them firing. So we'll bring in some Plastifex that I now have, and we'll plug him in to the guns, and he can be firing off some guns, some blue guns, and that's nice. And I decided, since the last time, since I want to go back to his original mode each time, we're just going to cut to it. So we're going to go from this back to this, and then we'll go ahead and get him into his robot mode. So we're going to go ahead and just stick this pipe in the middle here, and then we're going to take his arms off of his legs, oh so carefully. We'll go ahead and we'll do his other arm first. Let me plug this back in. Do this arm first, if I can get it off. Sorry guys, my hands are kind of sweaty. It's a little warm in the room I am in. We'll go ahead and plug this in here. No, this one. Plug that in, and then it was this way, and we're gonna, nope, I was right the first time. We want his arm in on this end, and then rotate this all the way around so his elbow is facing forward. We'll go ahead and plug this part into his hand, plug this part in to form a gun, and then we'll plug this into his shoulder for now. Maybe we'll leave it there, maybe we won't. Okay, now we'll take this arm off and we'll plug it in, pop this gray panel out so you have access to the elbow. We'll go ahead down to his legs and we're going to fold them up, and there's going to be a port here that's going to tab into the treads. We'll fold his legs up. Then we'll pop them off and plug them back on. Not that way. This way. And rotate this one around too. Plug his legs back on. And we'll pop his lower half off again. Rotate his legs around. They are tabs and slots that keep them in place in the vehicle modes. And then plug it into the middle hole on the torso. Then we'll fold his head up and spin it around. And there is Airwave in his robot mode, and you'll know you've got the leg on the right side because the ankle tilt will go in the right direction. But there you have Airwave in his robot mode. Alrighty, taking a look at the details, we've seen them all before, except his head, so we'll go ahead and look at his head. He's got a gunmetal painted face, orange paint there on the eyes, if you can see it with the flash, which will turn off. Go ahead and take a look at his torso. You got some molded details there. You got the silver paint down the legs. You got the wheels. But pretty much all the details we've seen before. You know, the landing strips and whatnot. There's his other treads. His legs are a little hollow in the back, boxy, but that's okay because they are boxes. There he is in the back. Take a look at the articulation. His head does rotate 360 on a swivel. You saw for transformation that it can. The shoulders will do a full 360, but they are pegged in, so make sure you don't unpeg them, and they will go out at this hinge down here. I believe they'll go out a full 90. If you don't have this gun in the way, it would go out a full 90 as well. Then you've got your bicep just above the elbow, 360 degrees. The elbows will bend 90 degrees, but you have to get them where you want them before you can bend them, and depending on the angle, you will not be able to bend them very far at all. There's no wrist articulation on his hand. You could rotate the gun on this side, I guess, if you want. He's got 360 degrees of waist rotation. His legs will move back very far. Front, good amount. Out to the side, they almost go all the way. Oh, there we go. Just had to get that tread past. They'll go all the way out. You can swivel them out and then rotate his body back into place or pull it off. Whatever you want to do, they'll go all the way out for you. You've got the swivel at the thigh, plus a swivel just above the knee for your dynamic leg turned poses. He does have 90 degrees of bend at the knee at this orange piece. Just make sure you don't rip his leg off. And then, as mentioned before, he's got ankle tiltage there. And you can do whatever you want with the weapons, but this is how I'm going to have them, and they are still blast compatible. I'm not going to show off him connecting to any robots because I never really found a way that he connected that I like the look of. So we'll just go right into some robot mode size comparisons and finish this thing up. There he is with the cube of Rubik's, Mr. Gormagala statue, with Bumblebee movie Bumblebee, with the last review of the Earthrise / Kingdom RC, who does not want to stand because of her knees. But I also want to mention that I forgot in her review that you can actually store her gun on her backside via a tab and port, so there you go with that. There he is with Titan's Returned Quake, which is going to be my next deluxe review. And last but not least, there you have him with the MP44 mold. So that is your review for Airwave. He has the distinction of being the only parts former figure I own, whether that be a weaponizer, modulator, or fossilizer. I have no other ones besides Airwave. I picked them up because I like blue and orange together, mostly the orange thing, and I wanted to see if they were worth getting. I didn't realize until after that the modulators were supposed to turn into lots of different alt modes, but weren't specifically built to do, you know, the weaponizer thing so much. So with that being said, I'm not disappointed. I just was a little, you know, surprised. And then I never got any of the fossilizers because I didn't care for them too much. I kind of wish I had gotten a cog and maybe a brunt, but I can't really change that now, and it's not bothering me. But as for this figure, the alt modes, I only like the original alt mode, and I like the robot mode, and I like how you get to each mode. I think it's articulated very well for a figure that explodes and reassembles. So that's nice. It holds together pretty good. You can rotate his arm out of the socket, but I mean, if you're not treating him like a caveman with a piece of meat, you should be fine. And that's gonna do it for you. Go ahead and like the video. If you did indeed like it, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notifications when I post. Go ahead and check out my other reviews in the description below in the playlist. Go ahead and check out my Instagram and Twitter link below. I will try to post on those a day or so before a review comes out to give you a heads up, because I cannot access the community tab yet. I might continue doing it on that and the community tab whenever I get it unlocked. And that'll pretty much be it. Go ahead and give me a comment what your favorite of the parts formers are. It could be a fossilizer, modulator, modulifilator, or a weaponizer. Go ahead and say who your favorite is. And with that, I'll see you next.